Hi, welcome to this week's Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. I'm excited. We've got Christine Donovan, Sherry Ewing, and Ramona Elmes with us this week. Ladies, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Hi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We're hoping for a pop-in by Alexa Aston, and also Kirsten Osborne had a book that came out this week, and I'll make sure that I put that link in the comments. That one's the Highland Heroine, so that you can grab it if you haven't gotten it already. But let's jump right in and talk about Sherry's book, which is Enchanted by the Lion, and obviously a Lion's Den book. Sherry, can you tell us about this one?
I loved writing. I love writing in the Lions Den connected world. Those books just like write themselves. It is such a great premise, and this is actually my fourth story that I've written for the Lions Den connected world, and this is actually with my. I've been writing about these four wicked widows who were mistresses
Oh,
to
fun.
other characters in some of my other books, but I always felt that they were very redeemable. So,
Mhm.
um, this one particular widow, which is the heroine in this book, Cassandra Vaughn, she has, in the previous book, she has paid money to Mrs. Devlion for her friends so that she could make suitable matches, and now it's her turn. So, um, it's a good little story. I really I read the PDF when I got it, and I was just like, when you cry at your own work, that's a
Yeah,
really good
that's
thing.
nice.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's a
that's a
really
nice
good thing.
thing. That's awesome.
So
That's awesome. So, do you have any more Lion's Den book plans, or?
I do. I'm actually plotting out the next one. That's I think it comes out in May of next year. So I'm actually working on plotting that one out right now. And I'm going to actually use another secondary character that I created. So all the men that I created were actually um, all brand new characters. So
Oh,
they hadn't been
fun.
seen anywhere else. So
Mhm.
all my Lions Den men are all brand new characters. So it's been really
Awesome.
fun, and I've got a whole slew of them now. So I could be writing for years. It's
Oh,
great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about the hero for this book?
The hero is Lucius Ford, Earl of Blackthorn, and he is not wanting to get married at all. He's just let go of. He just picked up another. Well, not picked up, but he just recently took a new mistress after getting rid of his previous one.
Oh,
And the first little cute meet is him seeing Cassandra walking out of her townhouse, and he's just instantly drawn to her for some, for whatever reason. And she knows him because she's been in love with him,
oh,
but he doesn't really know her. But she's seen him previously at the Lions Den because he's friends with the other three men from my other three books. So he does not want to get married, but she slowly kind of just um, weaves her way into his heart, and she actually his debt to Mrs. Dove Lion has a lot to do, without giving any too many spoilers, has a lot to do with Cassandra and cleaning up her past and the past that she needs to get over the hurdles so that she can join society again. So, and
oh,
some of the mystery surrounding her first marriage. So
oh.
he's a good character. I actually when my editor got a hold of it, I actually had to do a little bit of rewriting for him because I wanted him to be a bad boy, but he was a little bit too much of a bad boy. And so um, once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. So my editor did a fabulous job getting my brain to work in a little bit of a
Oh,
different
great.
direction to get him redeemable too. So I love Lucius. He's a great character.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Everybody loves a bad boy, but they
They
gotta,
do, but he's got to be redeemable.
yep, you gotta get some of the squish too. So awesome.
Exactly.
Well, that sounds like a huge fan, and we love a good Lion's Den book.
We
It's
do.
a
I love him.
popular series for a reason. So,
Yeah.
Alexa, can you hear us?
Please unlock the device to continue.
Oh, still can't hear you. Oh, we tried so hard.
Oh,
Alexa's book is An Enchanting Kiss, and it is book 5 in the Captivating Kisses series. And I'll make sure I pop the link in the comments so you can grab it if you haven't gotten it already, because it is a delicious series, and I love this one as much as you love the other ones. And I'm so sorry. Sometimes technology is fantastic because I can talk to authors from all over the world, and sometimes it's not our friend. And today is one of those days. So, so let's go right on ahead, and we're going to talk about Christine's book, and it is Marrying Marquess, and it's book 3 in the Widows of Mayfair series. Can you tell us about this one?
Yes. Lady Priscilla has always known she was going to marry Nicholas Pierce, the Marquess of Hollingsworth. But as she becomes of age, he breaks her heart and refuses to propose because of a dark secret from his past. He doesn't think he's worthy of her, thinks his heart doesn't work correctly, it doesn't beat right, it doesn't have he has no emotion. So he breaks her heart, and she in turn marries a naval officer who dies shortly after, and she becomes a widow. Because, of course, this is a series about widows. Yeah. When her mourning time is over, she re-enters society, and she has no prospects, and neither does Nicholas. So they make a pact that they will have a fake courtship, hoping that other people would be interested in them if they saw someone interested in them. So things, of course, don't always go that way as well.
Hardly ever.
There is other people interested, but they do make a connection. But Nicholas's past comes back to haunt him, and people are after him, and they're trying to use Priscilla to get to him.
Oh man! So she ends up in danger too.
The rest of the story unfolds from there.
So we get a little bit of romantic suspense and a little bit of intrigue with our
right
love
which
story.
All my books tend to have a little bit. Yes.
Fantastic. How many more books are in this series?
One more so far.
And do we have a release date for that one yet?
We do. I'd have to look at my book. I'd have to look it up.
That is not just me that has to look at lists to see.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's till like March or April. It's a little bit. Oh no, wait a minute. I have 2 more after this. not one.
That's even better.
Well, because I'm working on the 5th book, but this is the 3rd book, so you just get confused. Right?
Yeah.
So there are 2 more coming out.
Okay. Well, I love a longer series that gives you more chance to get attached to people and see the characters come in and out over and over again. So that's big fun. And I'm glad that when authors have trouble remembering things, it makes me feel a little bit better because I always have trouble remembering things. Well, let's just go ahead then, and we'll talk about Ramona's book, which is a translation of Desire, and it's book 2 in the Brazen Curator series. I love the title for this series. Can you tell us about this book and a little bit about the series too?
Yeah. This is like you said, the 2nd book in my series. So the main female lead, her name is Rose Calvert. She is a scholar. She studies ancient text and deciphers it. She actually has never been to London. She lives in Syria on excavation sites, all these things. Cool. She's about 27 years old. She promised her father a long time ago that she would go to London and have a season, but she's way past her time, so she thought he was over it. But he ships back some ancient tablets that she wants to decipher to London and forces her to kind of go back there. And she partners with an all-women's antiquities club there, which is what the Brazen Curator series is kind of centered around. So she goes back there to decipher the tablets. Her father's hoping she finds someone to wed. Along the way, she runs into the Duke of Sinclair, who's kind of this stuffy duke that is about 35 years old. He has not found a bride. Everyone is kind of gossiping about him, why he's still unwed, but he just hasn't really found his right match yet. So also he owns an import-export business, but he's never left England because he has so many obligations and things like that. So it's kind of a setup as opposites attract, but along the way, hopefully you see they have a lot more similarities than you would think. So the reason they're thrown together, though, is her ancient tablets go missing, and he happens to know where all the illicit markets are in London. So they're kind of off, like riding through London, trying to find where these ancient tablets are. along the way, obviously they start to grow close. They start to have feelings for each other, but they still continue to think that they're just so different from one another. So I'll stop there. That's kind of what the story is about. But, he's a Duke who plans to never leave England. She's an explorer that never plans to stay in England. So it's kind of putting those together.
There's lots of delicious tension there. Lots of stuff. Awesome. And how many more Brazen Curators do we get?
So there's at least one. So one more, and that'll be out in January. So and after that, I'm not sure yet.
Well, awesome. Well, ladies, we have tons of time left to talk because our technical difficulties made us a little befuddled. So I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about, we haven't done writing process in a while. And I'm wondering, I know, Sherry, I know you have to balance a day job. I'm wondering if the rest of you have different ways that you handle your writing time. Most of the other obligations you have. Are there certain times a day you write? Is there a certain way you step into? How does that work for you?
Who do you want to answer first?
I want somebody to jump in and go.
Okay.
It can be you.
I do watch my granddaughter 2 days a week.
Oh, nice.
So unless I'm really have energy when I get home, I don't write it all those 2 days. So I write the other 5. And most of the time I'm writing by 9 o'clock in the morning. I usually stop. Depends on how my workout's going. It could be 2 o'clock, it could be 3 o'clock. And then sometimes if I've really had not a productive day, I'll go back at night and do some.
Do you have a daily word count you try to hit?
I try to hit 3,000. It does, it doesn't always work, but I try.
Yeah, it's interesting how some days are easier than others. So.
It is. It's amazing how you can sit for 4 hours and write 700 words, and then another day you can sit for 4 hours and write 5,000. Yeah.
And you don't seem to have very much agency over whether you get to choose which kind of day it is. I think even the people that plot pretty heavily still have those kind of slow fast kind of days.
Right.
Sherry, what about you? How do you balance?
Well, normally I would say I with the day job, it's very challenging lately. This year I have to admit, I have been in a really super funk this year. I have not written like I'm used to writing, and that's probably what's contributing to my funk, because I'm used to writing every day, after work, on the weekends. It's been a ritual since I self-published back in 2014. And I haven't been doing that. And I'm finding that it's been harder and harder to get back into the rhythm of writing every day when you let it go for so long, because there's nothing in the tank. There's just been no energy, no nothing. But I say that with, I'm plotting again. So I'm plotting my next story. I've got another story that's coming out in a box set that I'll be writing right after this one. So I'm motivated to get writing again, and I kind of like where the next story is going to go. So I just, for me and the day job, I've just got to grab whatever time that I can, wherever I can. I've actually had to go back to bringing a notepad with me, because there are just times that something hits me. And I can't peck that fast on my phone, but I can write fast. So I'm going back to old school, I guess.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of books longhand in a spiral bound notebook before I got used to being able to write.
Right.
Because I typed. So I think you just have to figure out what works for you and how to fit things in.
Grab the time when you can. If I usually try to get, when I'm writing, for me, 1,800 to 2,000 words a day is good for me. 5,000 to 6,000 is like totally epic. It happens. I actually finished this Enchanted by the Lion. I knew exactly where I was going, and it just went flying onto the laptop after my muse had left for parts unknown. So there are just times when I know exactly where the story's going, and all of a sudden I've written 6,000 words, and I'm like, wow, okay, that was a really,
Yeah,
really
that's
good day.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Ramona, what about you? Are you a morning writer, evening writer?
I'd say I'm probably more of a morning writer. If I'm an evening writer, it's definitely after everybody goes to bed. I try to write 2 chapters a day, 5 days a week. I am a huge plotter. Like, I love having an outline. My family makes fun of me because I have like 2 calendars and all types of things. So, like, definitely my thing. But try to do 2 chapters a day is my goal.
And so, like, you talked about word count goals and about having chapter goals. I know, Ramona, that you must have had to do some research for your books. Do you allocate times for that kind of stuff, the in between things that have to happen in addition to writing the word count, like research and figuring out who your characters are, plotting time, that kind of stuff?
For me, a long time ago, someone showed me this like idea of a series Bible. So I always try to start with that. It kind of goes sideways like most of the time, to be
Just
quite
like
honest. But I normally have like a timeline, like a little baseball card almost for every character in the series. And then I try to like outline any like historical events that I want to write around, or like, for instance, this lady deciphers cuneiform text. I'm not an expert in that. So I try to, like, in the beginning when I'm planning the story, I try to get at least all the links and things like that I'm writing and stuff. But I mean, that's best case scenario. So
we plan for it to work, and then we work the plan. So.
Yes, exactly.
Christine, what about you? Do you have to allocate time for research and things like that?
I do a lot of it. I sort of don't plot very much.
You're a pantser.
Well, I was a total pantser. Since I've been with Dragonblade, I'm trying to change that. I don't plot well, but I at least have the story, down, in some idea of where it's going to go. As far as research, I stop in the middle and do it, because I was a pantser, so that's kind of how I did it. So I'm still doing it that way.
How do you stop yourself from getting caught in rabbit holes and not coming out again?
I do, because it's click this or click this. And then it's like, what was I doing? So I do waste an awful lot of time.
We don't call it wasting time. We call it filling the well.
Right. Yeah.
Sherry, what about you? Do you have research times that you have to set aside for doing things?
Yeah, whenever like when I was writing my Knights of the Anarchy, that had a lot of history in it, so I had a lot of research books for that one. So it really depends on the story that I'm writing. That series in particular that I wrote for Dragonblade, there was so much history and so many moving parts that I had to have books, and I had them tagged and highlighted and everything. So it really, for me, depends on the type of story that I'm writing. But like I said, those rabbit holes, you go down them and it's hard to claw your way back out.
Yeah.
And then you use like one sentence after you spend hours researching something. And
sometimes not even that. You just needed to know. We didn't necessarily need to know.
Exactly. You spend hours and hours, researching something for like a sentence, and then you just kind of shake your head, and then I got it out of my system, and you move on. But I say I'm plotting my next book, but it's not necessarily. I guess I'm part plotter, but more pantser, because my stories are always character driven, because I may think I want to go in a certain direction, but my characters will definitely let me know if I'm going the wrong way that they think that they should live their lives. And I'll run into just a complete wall, and I can't move on until I go back and fix it.
It's hard to describe that wall.
It
to
is.
people who don't write, that like you're going along and you're trying to muscle your way through it, and it won't happen.
It won't work. It won't work. And I can't move forward until I go back and fix it, because that's not they'll take me in a completely different direction. They'll wake me up in the middle of the night with conversations that they could have had during the day, but they'll keep me up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with full
Totally
blown conversations that I have to like record into my phone because I'll never remember them. It's crazy.
It's interesting that you said recording, because I know Alexa plots pretty heavily, but she also dictates to herself when she walks. So she walks and dictates, and then spends the afternoon editing what she dictated when she walked. And I have envy, because that just seems like how efficient is that?
Yeah, I could never do that. That would be too many things going on at the same time. Yeah, I'd fall down.
I would fall down. I know I would fall down, but that just seems like such an interesting way of doing it. Have any of you experimented with dictation or anything like that before? I know, Sherry, you talked about writing longhand in a notebook.
Yeah, I know a lot of authors that have been using some dictation, and Jude Knight, who also writes for Dragonblade, she gardens while she's dictating
Oh my goodness.
stories, and I'm so envious of her that she can do that. She is a goddess among women, I swear. She can do it all. I've never tried. I suppose at some point when the hands go too much arthritis as I get older, that I'll have to think of another way to figure out how to get my stories onto the laptop.
I would love to learn how to dictate my stories. I use a Mac, so it's a little tricky with the software. But I would love to not be sitting here
In that same position with the little hunched shoulders and the fingers where they're,
in the pain up and down. But I just say, I'm going to do it. And I look into it and I look into it. And then I think, oh, it's so much easier to just start typing. I can't, I don't have time to figure it out.
Yeah. And I think for some people, it's a very comfortable, natural transition. And for other people, it's just hard, and I think one of the things you learn the more books you write is that you have your own way of doing it. And that's the way. And, fighting against your way is not great.
I think I'd get too distracted. Like I would be going for a walk and be like, oh, look at that puppy over there. Let me stop and pet him. And, like I can just see it. It would be recording chaos. So.
But I do love the idea. I really do.
Me too.
Me too.
So, Sherry, you said that your stories are really character driven. Is that true for the rest of you, or do you get your plot things first? Which comes first, your characters or your plot?
I'm character driven and always have been, as long as I can remember.
Do you get one stronger than the other one? Like, do you usually get the female lead or the male lead first, or doesn't it matter?
It's kind of funny. I think I get the male lead first in a lot of my stories. Maybe it's because I raised 4 boys. I have more of a connection to men. I don't know.
Yeah. That makes sense. That would be a voice you'd be comfortable with. That you'd know. So. Ramona, what about you?
I don't know. I was just sitting here thinking about it. I think it must be a little bit of both. I think I tend to take a lot of my side characters in previous books and kind of put them aside because I'm like, I love this person. They're going to go somewhere someday. And then I probably come up with a theme. So maybe plotting the plot first. I come up with a theme and then I kind of think, okay, who would fall into this like series, story, that type of thing. But I kind of dream about my side characters probably way too much. I'm over here like thinking about them even when I'm writing about the leads and stuff. So, but yeah.
And Sherry, you said that yours are character driven. Do you get the female lead first or the male lead?
It depends. Like the first book I ever wrote was that was a total train wreck, aren't they all? It was
Hey,
a
they have to
Regency
be.
era.
That's what first
Yeah,
books
it was a
were.
Regency era. I didn't even know what I was doing. It took years before I finally could get that thing completely rewritten. And the heroine was first, but the first book I ever published, the hero came first. So I think it's just a matter of whoever pops into my head. And most of all of my characters, in one way or the other, I connect them all to all of my other stories. One
Oh,
way or the other,
nice.
they are all connected.
Yeah, nice.
They're
I
Yeah,
all
I
love
love.
that.
I do too. As a reader, I really love that.
Mhm. Even medieval, several generations removed, they're crawling
Oh,
back into the
nice.
Regency era. So
Oh,
That's
nice.
awesome.
I connect them all.
That's like a character Easter egg. That's
It's fun.
fantastic.
It's really fun. It's fun to do that.
Which do you like writing better, medieval or Regency?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I actually love writing time travels, medieval time travel. So I have a bunch of self-published books that are medieval time travels, and I actually just wrote. I took one of my secondary characters from my Knights of the Anarchy with Dragonblade, one of those stories, and for the anthology that came out in January, I did a time travel with that. And again, that I can write a time travel just like that. It'll just fly onto my computer.
Oh, wow.
And I love writing time travel. So I have a feeling that at some point I'm gonna give a push to Catherine Levesque about maybe a time travel series, because I think I'm overdue to write a time travel series, because I haven't really done it in a while.
Well, especially if
Other
you
than
love,
the novella.
especially if you love to do it.
Yeah,
And that would
love
be
it.
good. Like, I think it would be so much fun to write that kind of fish out of water thing, you know, like where everything is new, you know.
Right. Well, and Regencies, I love writing them, but that was like a kind of a secondary kind of thing. I love the whole medieval castles and everything, but you have got to get those titles right. And I swear, I don't know how many Regencies I've written so far, and I still can't get them right. I still can't address them right. I've always got to go to somebody and make sure that I've got it. And when I think I've got it, and it's not right. I don't think I'll ever get it straight. So
Does that slow you down when you're writing? Does it work that way for any of you, where you get caught up in the logistics of how titles are supposed to work and how the rules of the ton and all of that kind of thing, and like
It
trying
really
to
slows. It slows me down. Like I will go through and look at how you address someone, all of that, and kind of like the whole rabbit hole concept. Then I've got like 20 tabs open, and I'm like, and it's really for someone to say hello to somebody, and I swear in the last book before I knew how to say hello to that person, but now all of a sudden I don't. So
That happens to me too. I'll be there and I'm like, wait a minute. Is the man presented first or the and I'm like, but I knew that. Why don't I know it today?
yeah.
the struggle is real.
Yeah. Well, that I knew that. Why don't I know it today thing? I would very, very, very much like if I could organize my brain the way I organize my laptop files, so I could like put the things I need where I need them, so that I could get to them really easily instead of flapping around in there hoping for the best. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now I can imagine writing with a whole separate set of rules like that would be a little bit hindering when you're trying to tell the story too. So
Sure.
Well, ladies, it was fantastic to talk to you today. Do any of you have stories in the Halloween anthology?
No, not that one.
I do next year,
Oh, fun!
but not this year.
It's the publishing calendar is a little hard for me to get used to, because we're talking about 2027 now. I'm like, wait a minute.
No.
That is way far in my future. So
Right. I have a Lion's Den in 2026 and
fun.
the Halloween anthology in 2026. And to me, it seems so far away, but it'll be here very soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you've got to write the books, and then we have to do all the stuff that has to happen to the books, which I think maybe someday we should do that as a chat, because I think it would be interesting to go through the process, how it goes from your computer to a finished book that a reader can read, because there are a lot of steps and a lot of hands between
Right.
there to make sure that your vision is what it is, the shiniest best that it possibly can be. So
And thank goodness for all of
Right.
you at staff at Dragonblade for taking care of us like that, because
Yes.
you guys do an exceptional job. It's wonderful to write for Dragonblade.
well, we are
It is.
lucky. We are lucky to have our authors. And on that note, I'm going to thank you again for taking the time to talk to us. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to put the link to Kirsten's book and Alexa's book with all the other books, and I'll pop the link to the Halloween anthology because it's spooky season. So you can grab that as well. And you want to get Dragonblade books are their best deal on pre-order and release. So you want to grab them then as soon as you can. And if you can't, you can always read in Kindle Unlimited. Ladies, thanks again for taking the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.